3 signs that the girl you're dating has daddy issues. Okay, so the things you want to look for to find out if the chick you're interested in has daddy issues is, number 1, she tends to sleep around a lot. Okay, she's very promiscuous, because girls who have daddy issues tend to be a bit slutty. Okay, they tend to be fairly easy to have sex with. These are girls who will not make you wait to have sex with them. So you're not gonna have to bring her out on like 3 or 4 dates and wine and dine her in order for her to pull her pants down. Okay, you just won't have to do all that. Many of these girls, if you have solid game, you could have sex with them the very first night you meet them. Okay, these girls are very easy to pull, right? We call that a pull in the pickup community. They're very easy to pull the very first night you meet them. As long as you don't do anything socially awkward or weird or stupid, you could generally have sex with these girls the very first night. And if you don't happen to have sex with her the first night you meet her, generally all it takes is 1 date. Generally, she will have sex with you on the very first date. Okay, and many times she'll regret it, but she tends to do this a lot with guys that she meets. And the reason why girls who have daddy issues are so easy to sleep with is because when they have sex with a man, they tend to equate that in their heads with love. So it's like the more men that they have sex with, the more they feel that they are being loved, they are being validated, that they have worth, right? Which is kind of warped, it's kind of twisted, because for women, the less sexual partners you have, the more desirable you are to men, right? Especially high value men. High value men do not want a girl who's been passed around by dozens and dozens of guys, right? It's just not attractive to us. For most high value guys, we don't even like women who've slept with more than 10 men, right? We don't like girls who are in the double digits, especially if she's still in her 20s and she's already in double digits. If say she's in her early 20s, she's already slept with over 10 men. You have to wonder, like, what's going on with this girl? And generally it's because she has daddy issues she's doing that. Because most normal, mentally, or at least somewhat mentally healthy women tend to not sleep around like that. Most normal women are not going to sleep with a guy on the very first date. Okay, unless you have insane game. From time to time, she might do that if she feels that connection with you. Okay, I'm not saying that she'll never do that, but she generally doesn't do that. Whereas girls who have daddy issues, they have no problem having sex with you immediately, just because they feel like, if I don't have sex with this guy, I might lose him. Or if I don't have sex with this guy, maybe it means that I'm not worthy. Chicks who have daddy issues tend to be very insecure. They're very insecure and they have very low self-esteem, even though on the surface, they may be able to fake that with confidence, right? Where you talk to this girl and you have a conversation with her, not knowing her, you might think, wow, this girl really carries herself well. She's well-spoken. She's very confident in herself, right? Because I've been fooled by some of these girls. As long as I've been doing games, some of these girls with daddy issues, they've fooled me upon the initial approach. I was like, no way this girl has daddy issues. She seems like she's got her shit together, right? Then sure enough, right, this girl is like totally willing to sleep with me so fast without me having to put in a lot of effort, and it kind of throws me off, right? It's not that I don't appreciate that, of course, but it throws me off. So that is the number 1 sign you want to look for when it comes to girls who have daddy issues, is she's promiscuous, might be a little slutty, she might even dress a little slutty. You ever see those girls at the club who are just like wearing the 10-inch heels, and they're wearing like the crop top and their boobs are hanging out, their ass is hanging out, right? They're all dressed to the nines. Generally a girl like that tends to be doing that for a reason. She wants the attention. And a lot of girls with daddy issues do tend to be attention whores, right? I mean, all women to a certain degree are attention whores, right? They love attention, they live for it, they love that validation. But you'll notice a girl who has daddy issues kind of takes it to the next level, right? Where it's like, man, is enough ever enough? Like the chick's always like posting these selfies on Instagram, always trying to get male attention. Like any male who drops a comment, she likes it right away. Any guy who has anything positive to say about her, she's quick to respond, even if she has no intention of sleeping with that guy. So girls with daddy issues tend to be promiscuous, right? So that's the number one sign you want to look for. The number two sign you want to look for is she tends to have a deep-seated hatred for men. Now, this doesn't mean that she's automatically a feminist or adopts those beliefs. And it doesn't mean, by the way, that she doesn't date men. Okay, because I've dated a few girls with daddy issues who love men. They love the attention that men give them. They love having their ego fed by men, right? When men look at them, check them, they love that, right? They love dating men, they love having sex with them, but deep down, they have a bitterness towards men, right? And it could be a girl who has never necessarily been burned so bad by men to the point where she should have this deep-seated hatred. It's more or less that she just has this because her father was never around. Like her father might have abused her mother, or her father might have abused her, or her father might have just never wanted to be in the picture. So her father might have left her at a very young age. So ever since then, she has this kind of like deep-seated hatred towards men. And you really won't see this come out in her until you're at a point in your relationship where she feels comfortable with you. She doesn't mind showing that side of her. Or especially when you guys are getting ready to break up. She won't mind showing you that like very cold-hearted, vicious side of her. Okay, because I've noticed girls who have daddy issues, they can be like really ice cold towards you towards the end of your relationship, or even during your relationship. Right? You could have been with this girl for years and years, maybe even had a family together, had kids together, invested so much in her emotionally, mentally, financially, right? Sacrificed for her. You might have quit your job and moved halfway across the country to be with her and try to make your relationship work. You just did all these things for her, but yet when she's not satisfied with you, if she gets to that point in the relationship where she doesn't care if you stay or go, she can really turn on you and she could get vengeful. She could become like really, really just ice cold. I saw this happen to a guy too that was like really, really in love with this girl. And I know he was in love with her, and he just tried his ass off to make it work with her. And the more he did that, the more she just punished him. And more than normal, more than what an average girl would do. I mean, she literally like, at one point she like called the cops on him. She tried to file a false police report, try to get him in trouble, just shit like that. It's like, wow, dude, does he really deserve this? And the guy was so in love with her. And I remember him asking me, he was like, dude, I don't know what to do, and I'm like, dude, get rid of her. And he's like, but she says she loves me. And I'm like, really? I'd hate to see how she'd treat you if she didn't love you. And I really meant that. I was like, man, you're lucky she loves you, because I hate to see how far she'd go if she didn't love you. And sure enough, that kind of snapped him out of it, right? And it's been several years since this has happened, but this guy, to this day, just despises that chick. And he's really, really upset with himself for allowing himself to really give that much to that girl. And she just, was ready to destroy him like he was nothing, like he was nobody. And it was like less than 2 weeks later, she was in the sack with another guy. Like it was nothing. She just moved on to that next guy. Right? But this is the number 2 sign you want to look for. When it comes to girls with daddy issues, you want to see if she has kind of like that deep-seated hatred for men. Right? And a girl with daddy issues, obviously, is going to come from a background or an upbringing where her father was not around, or he was abusive, or he was neglectful. Okay, any of those 3. You're going to see kind of this bitterness towards men that she has. Even though she may not voice it all the time, she might have had plenty of boyfriends, right? But just kind of pay attention to the way she talks about men. Like there was one girl that I dated that had daddy issues that I remembered. Well, a few of them did this, but this one in particular, I remember this was back in, I want to say the early 2000s when Tom Leykis used to be on the air in LA. So Tom Likas used to be on the air, and this is before I was living in LA. But I remember we were on a trip and we were in LA, and I was listening to Tom Likas on the radio. He just like came on the radio out of nowhere. Like first we're listening to music, all of a sudden Tom Likas came on, and she was like, "Who is this?" And I was just kind of taken back by her response. I'm like, "Why are you getting so upset? This guy's a radio jockey. Who cares? Right? Why are you letting it bug you? Look how he's talking about women. Oh my gosh." And funny enough, that episode that we heard that day wasn't even that bad. I forgot what he was talking. I think he was talking about single mothers, funny enough. And she was not a single mother. It's like she didn't even have kids. I'm like, why do you care? You don't even have kids. You're not even a single mom. He's talking about single moms. And she was like, "You know what, Matt? You're really smart. You got a lot of knowledge. You should do something about this." I'm like, "Do something about what?" And she was like, "You should do something. Like, I don't know, put together your friends or something and form like a petition against this guy." I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I want to do that? Why would I waste my energy doing that? And she was like, "This guy can't continue like talking about women this way." And I'm like, well, he was, in that episode, he was pointing out a lot of statistics. So I was like, well, he's pointing out a lot of facts. It's kind of hard to debate somebody who has like facts. You want to come at him with your emotions, and I don't think it's going to work. And she's like, "So you agree with him? Are you saying you agree with him?" I was just taken back. I'm like, why are you picking a fight with me about this? I'm not on the radio. I'm not him. Right? But it was just an incident that I didn't forget. And then, of course, she went and told her girlfriends about it. She was like, "Oh my God, there's this guy we heard on the radio." Like, she wrote down his name. She didn't even spell his name right at the time. And she spelled it like Lycos. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And she was all, we something has to be done about this man. I'm like, wow. But sure enough, this was a girl who had daddy issues, number one. And number two, she was promiscuous, right? She wasn't like a girlfriend of mine. She was just somebody I was casually dating. But she was pretty promiscuous. And this same girl, too, that I'm talking about was pretty vengeful, right? She was pretty vengeful. Luckily, she didn't really do anything to me. I kind of just stopped seeing her and I moved on. But stories she told me from other guys that were her actual boyfriend, things that she's done to them, I was like, wow, I would never want to be this chick's boyfriend, right? So that is the number two sign you want to look for if the girl has daddy issues, if she has that deep-seated hatred, almost that hidden hatred for men. And she starts espousing some of those feminist doctrines, right? Those feminine ideologies. Be careful of that. And the third and final sign the girl has daddy issues is she was never taught how to act like a woman. Therefore, she does not know how to act like a woman, especially a woman in a relationship. Okay, because girls with daddy issues, they don't know how to function in a relationship, especially a long-term relationship with a man. They just don't. They're forever single. They're used to being single. They're used to guys just taking off on them because they can't deal with their shit. They can't deal with their energy zapping. And I've dated girls like this. I've dated girls who have had daddy issues and they have been complete energy vampires. It's like constant nitpicking, constant fighting, constant shit testing, constant alpha female behavior. I know that's a term that a lot of guys are using lately. Oh, I approached an alpha female. And to me, I mean, what that describes to me is just a chick who's loud, mouthy, disrespectful, and can't shut her mouth. That's the image I get when I hear alpha female. And the other image that comes to me is a female who cannot hang on to a man, right? She can't hang on to a man just because of that attitude. And the girl could be hot, but a lot of guys are like, I don't want to deal with that. And I've been there too. I've been like, I don't care how hot this girl is. I don't care how good the sex is. I cannot deal with this constant energy zapping, right? I can't deal with it. So that is the number three sign you want to look for when it comes to girls with daddy issues, is she just can't hang on to a man. She's constantly single, okay? Because girls who are good women, and I've done a coaching video on this before about the differences between good women and bad women. And the thing about good women is they get married off and snatched up very quickly, right? A lot of these girls, they get snatched up before they even turn 21. Some of these girls get snatched up right when they turn 18. The guy marries them off before she could even get out there. Smart guys. But bad women, no matter, and they could be super hot, no matter how hot they are, they stay on the shelf, right? They stay on the shelf. Like at the Walmart clearance rack. You ever go to Walmart clearance rack and you see all these items on there? Some of them are like, man, this looks like a good deal. This is like $5. This thing used to be $200. Whoa. Right? You see the packaging looks all nice. And you're like, why is this only $5? Why is it on clearance rack? And you think to yourself, I don't really need this. And then you come back like a week or two later. Now it's like $3. It's still sitting on the clearance rack. They're practically giving it away. You're just kind of like baffled. Like, man, how come this thing's like $3? It used to be $200. That's crazy. Why isn't anyone buying this thing? You know, and then you start to get a little suspicious. Like, maybe this thing's just garbage. Maybe it's not even worth having around. Right? And unfortunately, women with daddy issues are not very different. You know, they stay on the clearance rack because nobody wants to deal with their shit. Not only do these girls stay single like forever, right? They can't hang on to a man, but it's also difficult for them to maintain relationships with other women because other women, at least good women, don't want to stay in their lives, right? If anything, these girls will tend to have like one like bestie, one best friend who's exactly like they are, who's toxic, who's had daddy issues too, because like attracts like. And just to go back to my first sign that I was talking about the girl being promiscuous, the thing you have to understand about a girl who has daddy issues and sleeps around, that girl, the more a woman sleeps around, the less she's able to form a long-lasting, healthy bond with a dating partner, with you, right? So the more sexual partners a woman has had, the less likely it is that she's going to be able to function in a long-term relationship. That's why they have that saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You can't do it. So those are my top 3 signs for how to spot a girl with daddy issues. Number 1, she sleeps around. Number 2, she has a deep-seated hatred for men. And number 3, she can't hang on to a man. She's forever single. And unfortunately, she will forever be single because no man is going to want to deal with her long term. Maybe the short term, if this chick's hot, she could get guys to have sex with her, no problem. Right? Because a lot of girls who are hot have daddy issues. They have no problem getting guys to have sex with them. No problem at all. But none of those guys are stupid enough to go any further than that because they see what she's about. Some of these idiots, they end up knocking up that girl too, right? They end up knocking her up because they're fools. Then they have to deal with her for the rest of their lives. But even those guys, they'll just be like, I'll give you the alimony check or the child payment check each month, but I don't want to be part of your life anymore. Even those guys are smart enough to go, nope, I ain't doing this with you. I ain't marrying you. I don't want nothing to do with you. You know, we had this kid together. It happened. I'll pay for that. I'll help. Or sometimes these guys just take off. Can't blame them for that either. So those are the 3 signs you want to look for to find out if the girl you're seeing or the girl you just met or the girl you just approached has daddy issues. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video to YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Okay, it helps me out a ton when you guys actually subscribe. Too many of you guys who watch my coaching videos are still not yet subscribed to my channel, so please do me that big favor and just hit that subscribe button. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and you're gonna get a ton of value out of the coaching lessons that I'm going to be uploading to YouTube. And not only that, once you're subscribed to my channel, you're going to be the first to get my coaching videos, right? You're gonna be the first to be notified and you won't be last in line. So hit that subscribe button as well. And for you guys who want to support my work, support my content, all this red pill knowledge that I'm teaching you guys here on my channel, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I am talking 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and my students are out there approaching and closing every single week. And I kid you not, every single week. My students, not only here in California and Los Angeles, but all around the world. I've got students everywhere in practically every country now using my techniques to attract beautiful women into their lives. Many of my students have already gotten married and found the woman that they wanted to marry, the girl of their dreams, thanks to my teachings. A lot of these guys already have kids. It's crazy. It's crazy. These guys like already have kids because of the things that they learned in 7 months to mastery. And I'm not advocating for marriage, by the way. I warn all my students, like, hey, you don't want to get the state involved. If anything, you want to have a private ceremony, where you keep the state out of it, right? But some guys, that's what they want to do. They want to have a family. They want to have kids. They want to do that number. And, I'm not going to sit there and stop them, but I am going to warn them, right? And I tell these guys, if you want to use my techniques for that, what you learn in mastery, that's fine. Because I want these guys to find the highest value partner that they can, where they won't get divorced, where they won't be miserable in that relationship, having to settle for some 5'2", tyrant that's going to yell at him like a little boy every single day and put him down and disrespect him and wreck the relationship because he didn't have enough skill to get anybody better. Everything you're going to learn in 7 months to mastery, you're going to be able to use to attract the type of women that you like into your life. Okay, and even in that first month of coaching lessons alone, you are going to learn enough skill and enough knowledge to be able to go out there, and whenever you see an attractive girl that you want to approach, you'll have the skill to do that. Whereas before, you didn't. Like even right now, today, if you saw a girl, like a hot girl walking by you, you probably wouldn't know what to say, which is probably why you don't approach. Whereas once you go through the first month of coaching lessons and 7 months of mastery, you will be able to do it from now on for the rest of your life. Okay, so these are skills that you'll be able to take with you and use them for the remainder of your lifetime. You'll also be able to teach them to other men, right? Other men in your family. You'll be able to pass these lessons down to your sons, where they won't be confused. They won't be hesitating anytime they see a girl that they want to approach, right? This is a very, very powerful skill that you could use not only to just pick up beautiful women and bring them into your life, but this is a skill that you could use in every aspect of your life. I've told you guys over and over, pickup is a superpower. It's literally a superpower. And the first month of coaching lessons is only $1. Okay, it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. So definitely take advantage of it. I also added recently a cheat sheet featuring my top 5 openers, both direct openers and indirect openers, that you can use in practically any situation to open any girl. Super valuable. That's included in the first month of 7 months of mastery as well as my top 5 negs, my top 5 DHVs, my top 5 responses to any objections that the girl gives you, whether she tells you, oh, I have a boyfriend, I'm sorry, I can't give you my number, or she tells you, hey, I'm not interested in you, you're not my type. I give you my top 5 responses to those objections that will overcome her little shit test. And the thing about everything you learn in 7 months of mastery is all of this stuff has already been field tested. Okay, so it's not like you have to go out there and play trial and error. They've already been field tested by me over the last 2.5 decades. That's how long I've been using this stuff, because it works. So you don't have to go through the pain, failure, and rejection that I already went through for you just to get to the stuff that works. And like I said, right now it's only $1. Okay, it's the best value that you're ever going to get in your life. It's only $1, so take advantage of it. It's real simple. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It only takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.